What'd you think, track and field fans? What did you think? The anticipation for the men's 1500 was at an all-time high. Did it live up to the hype? I think it did. I think it did. Cole Hawker is going to the Olympics, the Olympic champion. Going to the World Championships, just like everyone thought he was, but just barely. Third place. Ethan Strand is going to the Worlds, like I told you he would be. What a kick. Second place. Jonah Koech is your 2025 U.S. men's 1500 meter champion. Yes, folks. That means Yared Nuguse, the Olympic bronze medalist, has gone home devastated. It means Hobbs Kessler has gone home devastated. Get rid of my spare monitor behind me. It's driving me nuts. We'll break that down for you. My God. Did Yared run poor tactically? Are these other guys just better? What do you think of it? In other action, the women's 1500 went according to form. Hiltz, Johnson, Mackay, that's your team. Hiltz with another win. In terms of steeplechase, folks, what's the name of this? Look at this. Let'sRun.com. Did you see that men's steeplechase? The guy that was racing the Let's Run singlet, a couple years ago? Dan Michalski. Where your dreams become reality. If you love the sport and are talented and go all in, hey, something good might happen to you. What a story. Dan Michalski. This guy's a father of three. I'm like, he was fourth in the trials in 2021. Way back last year. You're like, do you really want to keep going? He did. And now it looks like he's going to be going to Worlds in Tokyo. He's second place. Kenneth Brooks takes care of business up front. But some surprising places behind him. Women's steeple, Lexi Halliday Lowry, 909 for the win. Angelina Napoleon. Who would have thought that the first NC State person, not the coach's daughter, not Caitlin Tui, it's a NC State sophomore who's gone from like 954 to 910 this year in the steeple, is going to Worlds. We'll break that down. Syndey-McLaughlin Leverone wins. She breaks 49. People on the message board are like, was that disappointing? Or are our expectations too high? Or is it both? Masai Russell wins the women's 100 hurdles. Somebody must have won the men's 400 hurdles. Ja'Cory Patterson was second. I'm trying to remember who won. It was the opposite order of what I picked for the prediction contest. This is Let'sRun.com co-founder Robert Johnson. Recording from home today. Couldn't go into the studio downtown. I'll be joined shortly by Weldon Johnson and Jonathan Galt. I was like, guys, I've been staying up too late, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I can't do a solo show. I actually like doing the solo shows. I'm like, I'm at home. My son's playing upstairs. My wife's going for a run right now. But screw it. I got to do the solo show. All right. Should I wait for John and Weldon to talk about the men's 15 or should I do it? I think I've got to do it. Oh, people want Rojo to comment on the inclusion of pair events in the middle of NBC coverage. It's official. Our sport's a joke. Let'sRun.com is the only entity that still treats elite running as an elite sport. Even I was talking to my wife at lunch today. She's like, you guys got to branch out. Like, the sport's just not that popular. I'm like, no, that's what we do. We treat it like an elite sport. Like, the schedule today was a joke. Like, why are you ending with the steeplechases? Anyone who knows this, you should have either ended with the men's 1500, which is what I would have done. This is the race of the day, or end with Syndey-McLaughlin Leverone. You build up television. The NBA ends with the most exciting part of the game, the end of the game. The NFL, end of the game, exciting. So we don't have that in track. So you pick what is the most exciting event, and you should put that at the end of the event. So anyways, But let's go to this 1500. Let me pull up the splits here. Do a little split screen them for me. I mean, my takeaway on this is people are always criticizing tactics and whatnot, but I thought that one of the big three would go home devastated, and they did. Yared Nuguse took it out like kind of we thought he would. 56-2. Okay. And I did think like, wow, he's going right to the front. Okay, screw it. Weldon and John are here from Eugene. Gonna add them in, and then they don't need to hear me read.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hey, Weldon, talk to the masses for a minute. I've got to go check on something.
Wow, people. Jonathan, what a crazy day. We're still waiting for the steeplechasers. Dan Michalski, Let's Run hero, making the team. Well, making the top three. It's very Let's Run fashion not to have the standard. But John Roberts had to hold the show for a second. He has to go check on something.
All right, I think we can manage
the control. But okay, the men's 1500. We'll just drop things as where we are, because that was the race of the day.
It retains its status as the most entertaining event in track and field. I think that's safe to say, though.
I mean, shocking results. Jonah Koech hasn't run a race in 2 months. Last a 3:30 to win it with a sick close, almost as good as Cole Hawker's last year, and entirely in lane 2. So it might have been better than last year. The close was absolutely amazing. And then Ethan Strand gets second place. And as I said yesterday, unfortunately, and Cole Hawker gets third. And then afterwards tells Let's Run. That was the easiest race of the year for him. We thought it was a 3:37 race, I think, or 3:36. I think 3:37 he even said. He still got that out of the sit and kick race. Some of my focus was just making sure it was top and 3. I got boxed. Obviously, he's like, I acknowledge I did not win the race. That may sound crazy. But Nuguse ran slightly slower than last year, but Hobbs Kessler ran faster. Like, this was just a better race than what we saw last year, and last year we thought it was amazing.
No, it's hard to comprehend. Kessler was just, he really was kind of dumbstruck at the end because he's like, I did everything right in the race. I got in good position. I did everything in my build-up I possibly could. I'm in better shape than last year. And I just got beat. I got outraced. Like, he said there really wasn't anything. Like, he can't look back and say, I made any mistakes. He just got beat by guys who are better than him. And part of that, like, you can accept, like, okay, you're not dwelling on, like, a mistake, but he was also, like, getting existential, thinking about it, like, okay, but if this was my absolute best and I had a great lead and a great build-up and I still am not good enough to make the team, like, where do I go from here? He was hoping to make a leap to medaling from 5th at the Olympics. Now he's not even on the team. And then Yared Nuguse, who was second in the Prefontaine Classic Diamond League, which was loaded less than a month ago, to Niels Laros, who is the bronze medalist from the 2024 Olympic Games, will not be at the World Championships this year. Well, unless he wins
that him, John? No.
That is not him. And Nuguse did hold out some hope. Like, he could show up. He's like, look, I've won in Zurich the last 2 years. It's not crazy to suggest that Nuguse could get that wild card spot. So that'll be an interesting storyline to track. But I mean, Weldon, I did ask Weldon before the race. I said,
or another American, Koech could show up or Hawker could win. That is a very interesting scenario.
Yeah, they would win it for Hobbs Kessler. Nuguse will be looking to win it for himself.
Oh yeah, they have to,
because
one of the place would have been Nuguse. Crazy.
So yeah, it's a wild situation that's going to add some extra spice to the Diamond League final in the 1500. But Weldon, I did ask you right before the race started. I said, "Are you going on the record as your official prediction that Nuguse won't make the team?" And you said yes. So I will allow you to celebrate that one. I mean, no, you don't want to celebrate. Not celebrate, but I'll allow you to claim that prediction.
But Weldon said he wasn't making the team?
Yeah, I said that last night. I just felt like leading. We've seen it with Jakob. I felt like when Nuguse or Hawker, one of them wasn't going to make it for whatever reason. And I feel like the way Nuguse is running, it's the Jakob strategy. It's very.
The reality is,
felt like these guys were better behind him, and that was proven to be the case.
Okay, let's talk about the race up front.
Ethan Strand said, Ethan Strand was glorious afterwards. So happy. He's like, I knew I could run 3:30. I knew I could kick in this type of race. But then I was like, well, last year you see the Olympics. What are you thinking? He's like, well, I know there's years I'm not going to make the team. It's just too good. So crazy.
Okay, let's talk about the race for the win. Koech, well, y'all have already nailed it in the sense of Hobbs Kessler I would be having an existential crisis myself. But again, it's just 2025 is the ultimate vindication for Rojo. I didn't see this guy making the next step, and he clearly hasn't. There was a big gap between him and the medalist, and now, he has no excuses. This was an easy trip for him, and I went back and watched it again. Nuguse went to the front, Kessler got on his shoulder and ran right behind him. He had a perfect rabbit. He didn't run any extra ground. He was in second place the entire race and then just gets run down at the end of the race. So 0 excuses, perfect trip, doesn't make the team. Koech, as you guys said, was sensational. Like at the bell, he's in there was 3 guys bunch. He was probably between 6th and 8th. I guess I can officially look it up. He's running wide. He runs the whole turn in lane 2. Then he somehow finds himself in the same spot with 200 meters to go in 6th or 7th place again, has to run the whole turn in lane 2 and still wins this race convincingly. So
he ran 12.5 for his last 100 meters, 12.5 in 3:30 race. That's just ridiculous.
Look, told John what
he ran up. He was 7th place at the bell, and then 5th with 1,200 meters, but I swear with 200 meters, he was 6th. So phenomenal race for him. I didn't see that. I mean, he won a Diamond League, but I thought in the prelims, he didn't look that good. I'm like, he's missed too much time. Phenomenal race for him. Strand I would have rather, to be honest, whatever. I would rather have had an American-born guy win the race, college breakout star. Would have been more fun if Strand had won the race to make the team. But he was just as good as I thought he would be. The best last 300 of anyone in the field, 39.09, ran wide on the turn. Phenomenal. Hocker, to me, I'm shocked you guys. He said it was the easiest race. He did what he's done a number of times. He's in a great spot at 1,200, and then he doesn't kick between 12 and 1,300. He waits just naturally, and then he finds himself in a bad spot. He's got no one to blame for him on that. Everyone starts moving early. He doesn't move, and then he's got to run extra ground. But that was not, he's only 0.2 off the win, but it looked kind of convincing. And then there's a big gap to Kessler, 30.8 of a gap to him. Nuguse was just falling apart and terrible. So, John, you're the one with the photographic memory. I was not impressed by the last lap, though. What were these guys kicking in the Olympics? What was the last 400 in the Olympic race, which was a 3:27 race?
Well, I think that was the Olympics was 53 or 54. Koech was 52.9 today, and he ran the whole last lap in lane 2. So I think it was faster. But I was comparing.
Oh, never mind.
I'm how do you go from Olympic bronze medal? Robert, I'm talking here. He goes from 3:27 Olympic bronze medal, not making the team. If you look at the splits from the Olympic trials final last year to this year, they are almost identical for Yared Nuguse. He ran almost the exact same race. He went out in 56. He pushed it back to 58, then hit the third lap hard. The only difference essentially is that he ran 13.0 for his last 100 at the trials last year and 13.7 today. And that was about I think he was 0.5 difference between his times. He ran 3:30.8 last year and 3:31.34. So essentially, he ran almost identical races. He just ran out of gas the last 100. And with the level that the U.S. is at right now, that is what cost him a spot on the team.
I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. I was looking at it backwards. I saw 56 last lap. It was the 56 first lap. So I guess you're right. They ran fine. They just got beat by better guys. The other guys rose their game. And Gary Martin, congrats to him in 6th place, 3:32 flat PB, 3:32.03. Nathan Green, 3:33 for 8th, Ciotti 7th. It's just a hard team to make. But when I was watching it live,
race last year at the trials. Sorry, 1 second. remember that race last year at the trials. After that race, obviously we knew it was fast, and then the message board poster essentially said that may be the greatest close ever in a 3:30 type race. And essentially we saw that again today, like 0.3 slower or something. But like these guys are all three of them are ready to go try to get a medal or win the world championships. I mean, that was this good.
The Koech thing, it's just blowing my mind. Like he's saying, first of all, I don't understand his training. He says he works out like 5 or 6 days a week. Like he told me that after he ran Rabat, he said that. I'm like, how is that possible? No guy, you can't run 5 or 6 days of workouts a week without breaking down. And then he gets the injury, and he actually was like, oh, I think the hamstring injury was good because I wasn't able to work out as much, so I was resting more, and that helped me, get ready to run here. It doesn't, like, I don't comprehend that. But yeah, somehow, I don't know. He's clearly in ridiculous shape right now. And if he can stay healthy and like carry this through the championships, now this is going to be his first world's team in a 1500. Remember, this was a 337 guy until this year, and now he's run 331, won a Diamond League, and he's won the most competitive national championships in the world. So, I mean, but yeah, what is the ceiling? Do you think the ceiling's gold medal for him in Tokyo?
Yeah,
I think it has to be. He just beat the Olympic champ.
Although, I guess you'll have Jakob. I was about to say
Thank you.
and Hawker probably wants someone to be the rabbit for them, but you're gonna have Jakob presumably. I think that's somebody like that.
Well,
to
there's
take
a reason why we
the
do
hard
written recaps and we have time to analyze the splits and whatnot and historic. So maybe it'll be more impressive. I did not realize Nuguse that when I was watching it live, I didn't like, wow, he ran basically what he did last year. When I was watching it live, I thought, well, why does he need to go to the front at the very start? It makes me a little bit nervous. And then what I wrote mid-race was, after the race, I said, when I saw 58 for the second lap, I immediately thought, wait a minute. When Jakob runs a 58 mid-race, we know it's over for him. We know he's not winning that race. So I thought at that point, okay, I'm pretty sure he's not going to win this race but I said, but not making the team and looking like crap, that's a whole nother story. So I guess he looked a lot worse than he ran. It wasn't that bad. But I said, I think moving forward, Yared either needs to make it a pure time trial or not lead the whole thing. There's a psychological total. Leading and not really doing anything with the pace is a deadly sin. So I think he needs to shove it down and make it a 328 race, 329 race. But the problem is he's not good enough to make it a 328 race from the front. I didn't realize it. Like he ran 331, but Koech basically ran 330 flat. So he did. He made it a 330 race. I think he should make it a little bit faster if he's going to try to lead it. But the reality is Hawker ran 330.37. If Nuguse is going to run the whole thing, if we think that rabbiting's worth a second a lap, and Faith Kipyegon and all these people spent millions of dollars, Nike spent millions of dollars thinking that aerodynamics is very, very important. So if rabbiting's worth a second a lap and these Diamond League's high rabbits for everything, is Nuguse good enough to go run 329 from the front? That would mean that he's in 326 shape, and the world record is 326 flat. So maybe he's not good enough to do that. And maybe he is the Jakob Ingebrigtsen of the U.S. men's 1500. He's not good enough. He's not fast enough who he doesn't have good enough a kick, but he's not good enough to lead it.
Well, he was until this year. He did that the last 2 U.S. finals and finished first and second. And at the Freefontaine Classic, you saw it, Robin. He raced Kessler and Hawker in the Bowerman Mile. He had pacing help, wave lights. He dropped them, and there was a huge gap. Now we're a month later, and both of those guys beat him. And it's because he has to take on the race himself. And I think at this point, I would have been the approach that Nuguse was taking made sense because he was on another level than every other American apart from Hawker. This year, that gap has closed. We didn't realize it had closed by now, but it has. And yeah, moving forward, he's going to have to reassess tactics because the gap between him and Hawker and everyone else in the U.S. it's not what it was last year. The others have caught up.
Now, Bad Clamps has a comment in the YouTube here. I didn't think Hobbs would make it the team after talking about all this anaerobic battery to Jonathan Galt yesterday. Like, I didn't understand. I should go listen to that interview, but I was thinking that afterwards. I was like, what was he talking? Like, his anaerobic shape's better than his aerobic shape? Like, that should have made him nervous because that means you're not going to run as great in the time trial. But, he ran 3:31.1. It's not like it's terrible. It's just the top three were way better than everybody else. So now that I'm seeing the splits, now that I'm hearing what you guys are saying, I'm thinking a little bit differently about this. But I do think that, I mean, I guess I was like, how could Nuguse be that bad? He's just 1 second off, and he led the first 1,300 meters of this. So it's what we see. Jakob is the Yared Nuguse. Excuse me, Yared is the Jakob of US 1,500 meter running. He's a damn good runner, but very few people in this world are good enough just to push the pace from the front and dominate everybody.
Yeah, I mean, go back to Hisham El Garouche, the best guys and the best ever in the world. A lot of the times can't do it. I think, as John said, Yared used to have a cushion on these guys. Now the cushion isn't as big, so this strategy is harder. If he runs it perfectly, yeah, he probably gets top three. But I mean, one thing also, Hawker said, this is why you said Robert Hawker didn't push it from 1,300 or 1,200 to 1,300. Hawker's like, it was very windy on the backstretch. I was aware of that. I didn't want to open up on the backstretch, so I sort of just stayed where I was. And then all of a sudden, the guys came around him.
Hawker has an advantage because he has a sit kick, and it's just easier to be sitting in the pack. He's very good tactically, and he can rely on that kick to get him out of trouble. He knows he's just got to get third, whatever. It's harder to be what Nuguse is doing. And if you make it a pure time trial and you go out and try to make it like the one thing is, if you're Nuguse, you're probably thinking, okay, I mean, it's easy to say now, oh, he should have made it like try to go run 3:29 flat from the front. But first of all, that's a heroic effort. That would be very close to a world record type effort. And if you get that wrong, we've seen it like with Addie Wiley in 800 heats and whatever, you tie up, people are like, oh, he's stupid. Why did he run that hard? Why didn't he save something for the end? So it's very easily to be Monday morning quarterback and criticize Yared Nuguse. The reality is, let's just face the reality of who made the team. Jonah Koech, who's been clearly in the wrong event. He's won a diamond. He's done something this year that Matthew Syndey has never done, that Cole Hawker's never done, which is win a diamond late 1,500. So we say you lose to him, there's no problem in that. Ethan Strand has one of the greatest kicks I've ever seen. And he can clearly run 330 flat. So you put that kick in this type of race and you get Cole Hawker vibes. So he makes the team and the Olympic champion makes the team. So that just means somebody good is not going to make the team here. Nuguse isn't a medalist. I view him more as, I mean, it's easy to say this now though, like you have the guys that flash in the pan, they have the career years, they get the bronze, but it's harder for them to keep replicating it, but people want to know who's the gold medal favorite. John, I it's going to be wide open. I still think Hawker. I mean, if I was a betting man, like Hawker's ahead of where he was last year, I would say. Was the close a little bit worse today? He said this when he finishes this race and says it's the easiest race ever. Let's see how he looks in the 5K. Well, people want to know, are you still confident he can make the 5K team?
I'm not sure about the 5K, but in terms of my favorite, who's the favorite for Worlds? I think for me, it's Hawker, which is crazy. He was third place today. So does that then mean you start opening up the possibility of Ethan Strand or Jonah Koech winning the world championships? Because that's the standard I'm putting on. Nothing is impossible these days. And as Ethan said, I think they're all medal contenders at the very least. And if I'm saying Hawker can win it, I think any one of them could win it. But then there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys in the world, or maybe not that many. At least, yeah, probably. I mean, Kenya's got one, Laros, obviously Jakob. You could win or you could get 6th. But usually someone's a level above. Oh, there's Mikowski.
But that's what's going to make the race so fascinating is there's going to be 5 or 6, 7 guys with a legitimate shot to win the gold. Nobody will probably be a betting favorite of over 40%. And it'll be interesting. I mean, sometimes the hurdle races are like that, but you can't see it unfold. It's over in 10 seconds and whatever. So it's going to be, an amazing race. It's going to be an amazing race. And people say, how can you say Hawker's the favorite? Because it's still in 6 weeks. So I would watch out for Koech, you know, and this to me is such an indictment. And this to me also is just an indication of how coaching matters. And he gets in the right event, he gets really good coaching, and now he's like a world beater. How many guys in Kenya are in the wrong event or have poor coaches? I mean, hell, we have All Thing Mo here in America, apparently with a bad 800-meter coach. And it's just, the results are middling. And one thing I added to the forum today about All Thing Mo was a little bit when I was talking about, you know, in case you missed it, I published an article. She needs to move on from Bobby Kersey. What coaches should she consider looking at? One thing I added this morning on the forum was, I said, it's not like she's the only 800-meter runner struggling right now. Mariam Murat has barely broken. She's broken two out of 5 races this year, or 7 races, something like that. Keely Hutchinson's hurt. I mean, we always assume everything's going to be smooth sailing. It's not. So that was the men's 1500. The only really disappointment here was Eric Holt. I mean, you run 3.3. It was just like last year. Like, he's just very inconsistent. Runs 3.32 in the prelims and then runs 3.40 today. So anyways, women's 1500. I mean, this was just exactly how I thought it was going to go. I think it was probably exactly how most people thought it was going to go. A lot of people in the prediction contest are, I'm sure, going to go 1, 2, 3. You basically had the order, the seasonal best order of the U.S. runners finishing 1, 2, 3. Hiltz, Johnson, Mackay. Heather McLean was 5th ahead of Danny Jones. Not much to say here, really. The last lap for Nikki was 58.6. Was way better than everybody else. 59.48 was the second best lap. I mean, only 3 women broke 60 on the last lap, and Hiltz closes in 58.67. Dominant win.
I mean,
Nikki is quite good in tactical races, but it's good luck getting a medal. If Nikki's got a medal, she really needs Georgia. Nikki really needs Georgia Hunter Bell to run the 800 only, because I don't see Nikki beating Faith. I don't see Nikki beating Welteji. I don't see her beating Jessica Hull. But, you know,
it's not out of the realm of possibilities. This race sort of went totally as you drew it up on paper. I mean, I think a lot of people predicted this top 3 in this order. Nikki's a step above them right now, everyone else in the U.S. So it went as expected. This one was not a surprise. The only question mark is, where is Nikki now on the world stage? Can Nikki close the gap? That sort of thing. Robert, I'm going to go talk to Steepers 1 second. I'll be back.
Someone in the chat tell me how hot it was in Eugene. I wasn't looking at the weather. John, thank you for the $50. I appreciate it. Makes me feel good to say long. Everyone's just clamoring for more Rojo, because I'm starting to just pipe down. I'm right all the time, but it's doesn't do me any good to be right. I was kind of surprised by. I was trying to find my damn list here. I was outside throwing the ball with my son. I come in, I watch they're on commercial in the middle of the men's steeple. They had a split box if you're watching in the U.S. And they come back on with about 2 laps to go. And I'm like, okay, it's a slow tactical race. And Rooks, the Olympic silver medalist, was at the front controlling the race, did a nice job of, taking care of business. Closes in 59.1. He goes 62, 59.1 for his last 2 laps. Wins it in 8:26. And then Dammit Mahalski, Let'sRun.com supporter club member. This guy will not give up on the dream. I mean, what a performance. So I see Dan up there. He's a bigger guy, and he comes in with an 8:18 PB in his last race. He's 29 years of age. So if you don't know his story, 2021, he surprisingly got 4th at the trials, 8:22.54. And then next year, though, only 13th at USA's. Last year, it was 2023, he's 13th. Last year, doesn't even make the final. he was trained. He joins the Air Force because there's not a lot of money in the men's steeple, and was being coached by Alan Culpepper last year. Doesn't make the final. And then I only found out recently, he just asked, I don't know if how he got in touch with that Eyestone and said, hey, can I move out there? Because with his job with the Air Force, I guess he can train wherever he wants. So he just upped and moved. I mean, this is a married guy with I believe 3 kids, certainly 2. And I think this is smart. Like I was kind of thinking, like, someone like this, like, are you really going to hang on for another 4 years? You're going to be mid-30s. But I like this because he's got a career. He's getting an Air Force. You get, like, money for life if you stay in the Air Force for 20 years. So it's not like you're working in a shoe store. He gets insurance for the family and stuff like that. But he reaches out to that Eyestone and moves out there, and it's like, I'm feeling pretty good. He's like, I'm probably in the best shape of my life. He debated whether it was now or 2021. I think now he knows. I mean, he was right behind Brooks, 8:26.58, 8:26.77. But he was up there with like a lap to go. They kind of gapped everybody else. And then Bernard Keeter, the U.S. Army, Nike, he goes 8:29. So 8:26, 8:26, 8:29. And the surprising thing was Matthew Wilkinson, not making it. He came in as a U.S. leader at 8:10. He'd run 3 times, I think, under 8:15. He was the U.S. leader. He ends up 4th in 8:29.32. Isaac Updike, who was the U.S. number 2 at 8:13, runs 8:30. He's 5th. So it was surprising to me that those guys, to be honest, that Michalski beat them. But kudos to him. Kudos to him. And I believe Michalski is the Let's Run.com half marathon record holder. We have the original singlet that Weldon used to race in. If you want to race in it, I'll put it in the mail. He was between, he hadn't joined the Air Force yet. He's like, I can run for you guys. I was like, all right, man. So it's just fun to like see a guy that passionate who listens to the pod, who texts us. So I was telling everybody, I was just reading off his text on the regular pod. He's like, I wasn't looking for publicity. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't tell me I couldn't use it. So it's just a cool story of a guy that has a dream. Now he doesn't have the standard, but you can chase the standard. I'm assuming in Road to Tokyo, he'll be okay. Be a shame if he doesn't get to go. And if he doesn't get to go, shame on you, World Athletics. Shame on USATF. Like, as I said earlier at the beginning of the show, if you want the sport to be more popular, see, this is the thing I say. I say more popular. I don't say popular. It's never going to be NFL football. It's not as inherently as interesting. There aren't turnovers. There aren't interceptions. There's not a winner and a loser. There's like 12 winners and losers and 30, and it's a little bit hard to follow, which makes it good for a website because you have to understand it to really follow it. But if you want to make the sport more popular, you need to have more races that matter, not more races. So that's why the one thing Grand Slam got track was the races matter because it was $100,000 on the line. Now, admittedly, it was monopoly money, but at the time we thought it was real money. And so you need to let the top 3 go. If we're sending 3, let the top 3 go. That's drama. Like, to me, I like Jake Whiteman, but he skips the British trials because he's sick. He shouldn't go. He just shouldn't go. We need more races that matter. Like, we're just going to blow off everything except for Worlds. No, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. So anyways. All right. Coach GB says you don't get a lot of money for life as retired pay, but you get a decent paycheck. I mean, the reality is when I last went to where was I going? I was going to some Worlds. I was connecting through Doha. I was flying next door to a Kenyan guy. Moved over here at 18, joined the U.S. Army, had retired. Was like from the Army and was flying back to Kenya. He was going to retire in Kenya and live. I mean, in Kenya, he was going to live like a king because you don't need a lot of money to live like a king. Coach GB saying less than $2,000 a month in retirement. Well, that's better than most people are getting. That's better than most people in America are getting because these companies are sick. There's no loyalty. They're all owned by, venture capital, whatever you want to call it. And they just cut fire however they want. It's not a big deal. Google laid off 10,000 people. Microsoft laid off 10,000 people. No big deal. We just hit the $3 trillion market cap. Nobody needs a job. Nobody needs job security. Anyways, which Koech do I think will finish higher at Worlds? Our Koech or Kenya's Koech? That's a good question. I think Kenya's coach, but isn't Stephen Haas our coach's coach? I think Stephen Haas knows what he's doing. So, anyways, that was the men's steeple. I told Weldon and John to try to get Dan Mikowski on the show. Give him he just got on his phone like they did. Women's steeple. Let's pull up the U.S. list here. This was fast race, but by championship standards, we had four. I mean, it was a deep year for the U.S. We had 4 women under 9:10, 5 at 5th at 9:10. So the top 5 women were all at 9:10 or better coming in. Plus Val Constantine 9:16, Alizia Markovic 9:17. I mean, I really think those are the 7 women under 9:20. Those are the 7 women you think are going to contend for the team. And Lexi Holiday-Lowry, not a surprise. She's consistent. She makes the team. Angelina Napoleon of NC State, surprising to me. I mean, she was third NCAAs. She goes over to Monaco, runs 9:10, then does it again. Like, she's not getting tired. Most collegians are sort of satisfied. Like, it's just, I would have thought that Ellie Hennis or Caitlin Tui would be on a world championship team well before. I mean, they've never made a team. And Napoleon is on the U.S. World Championship team. Kaylee Mitchison, he's training with Jerry Schumacher. I picked her in my prediction contest, I believe. Let me see here. My official picks here. She's third. Let me see here. Trying to figure out who I actually picked. Can't lie to you guys. I did not know. My picks in the contest, at least. I don't know what I said on the podcast. Gabe Jennings to win. Kaylee Mitchell for second. Constantine for third. I just put Constantine in there because she ran like a 15-second PR last year to make it. I kind of thought that was a stretch of a pick, but I wanted to be different. I like to be different. Napoleon gets second. Mitchell gets third. But you got to, 9/11 beats that, barely holds off Chrissy Gear. I mean, Chrissy Gear's got a great kick, and coming into the final 100, I'm like, oh, I think Gear's going to catch Mitchell, but Mitchell just saw her coming and really kicked it in Gear. And then Markovic was 5th, Waymont is 6th, Constantine 7th, and the person who's got to feel really bad here is Gabe Jennings. I mean, I'm not sure, Weldon and them are trying to talk to them now, but I don't know. Like, I didn't see it. I didn't watch the race this closely. Unless you fall, you come in as the U.S. leader at 9:06 and you run 9:26 in a fast race. That one's going to sting for a long time because that's not good. Now, I guess it was hot. It's 85 degrees right now. So to run those times in that heat is pretty impressive. So, but what I've always said, former 10-year coach in the Ivy League, the steeple to me is one race. For some reason, it doesn't matter the weather. You can run well in it no matter what. Like, it's not that long. You're not running that fast. So a 5K is too long. The heat's going to impact you. 10K, obviously. You can run well in a windy steeple. You're not running that fast. So maybe you're not getting quite as hot. I don't know. I guess you do have some water splashing on you. I don't know. But it's a weird race in the sense of it's not as impacted as the conditions. And since it's not quite even, 10 minutes long, you're not getting worn down by the heat. But Gabe Jennings, disappointing. People are saying something about Jennings and the water jump. Wow. Coach 23 with the stat of the day. Fun fact about Napoleon. As a junior in high school, she placed second in the New York State Indoor Championships in the high jump. What? Oh my God. I never thought to go to the high jumpers and ask if they wanted a steeple. To me, the steeplechase was a mindset. Like, I had like a 9'10" kid come in and he was totally out of shape when he showed up. I was running with him. Like, you knew he was in such bad shape. He couldn't run with the varsity. Couldn't even run an hour with the guys. Like, easy day. He had to run with me. and we were running, it's like into August. There's a beautiful lake in Ithaca. And I'm like, oh, this is the pond that the kids jump in off the bridge. He just jumped off the bridge. He just jumped off the bridge right in the water. Didn't ask me. I'm like, how'd you know it's safe? Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry for the delay. Weldon Johnson's trying to call me. Weldon claims that he tried to get back in the podcast, but I wouldn't let him in. Mojo's taken over the website, folks. I've changed the keys. Anyways, so yes, mindset. He just jumped in, and I said, "Well, weren't you worried? How did you know it was deep enough?" So well, I thought you would have said something. So with that type of crazy mindset, if you're athletic, you can do it. So clearly, Napoleon's athletic. And here we go. So, anyways, Weldon's back. I went through the steeple. Anything on Gabe Jennings? She comes in as the U.S. leader, 9:06. She runs 9:26. What happened there?
I'm not sure. What's Napoleon's first name? Is it Angela?
Angelina.
Angelina, yeah, I'm just getting that wrong. I mean, she's like such a crazy story. I think she'd run 9:50 something before this year. She said there was times she was like crying in her hotel room to her parents at NC State. And she told them, never give up on me. And here she is making the world championship. She makes a really cool story. But she said coming in, if on paper you probably put Courtney Wayment, Jennings, and I don't know who the third was, like to making the team, and none of them made it, right? None of this thing was wide open to begin with, but I sort of agree with her. The top three who you probably historically would have put in paper didn't make it. Christy Gears made teams in the past. She performed really well. She didn't make it. So you really had, and I think Christy said this, all of these races now, the depth is amazing across the board. And this woman's steeple was like relatively weak, relatively speaking. But like, there's no room for error anyways. As Christy said, like, one person will make a team, they won't make it the next year. Maybe I'll free switch, like in this case. The people who make it all the time, like back in the day, like the Coburns or something, they were just they were so good. And also probably a step above everybody else. It's really hard to make a team every year now. John's hoping
correct.
to get here. John just did the longest. Robert, I guess I went in the wrong studio. I didn't see you. So then I was talking to some people. And meanwhile, John did probably like a 25-minute interview with Dan Michalski.
I just told him to have him on the pod. But the reality is, I mean, as great as... 2, 3, 4, 6. I mean, there's a lot of women that can break 9:10. I mean, Emma Coburn did it for, 6 years in a row. She broke 9:10. I think she's broken 9:10 14 times in her career. And that was without the super shoes for most of those times. But what do we think of Syndey-McLaughlin Leverone? I mean, the expectations are basically break the American record every time she runs the race. She doesn't do it. And then, I mean, there was a thread on her, and like the second post is like, they weren't that impressed. What do you think? Is that just unrealistic expectations when you run 49.8? 48.9, I mean, sorry.
Let's say 48.9. No, I think that's 100% how she views it. She looks at the clock. I heard someone who's like heard her sort of in the area before they came in the mix on talking to her husband, and sort of that was the impression they got. She just, since she wants the American record, can't believe she doesn't get it every single time she runs it. But she said all the right things afterwards. She's not going to do the 400 hurdles, so she's not going to try the Diamond League route. Because there was some speculation, she could just run one event here, win the Diamond League final on the 400 hurdles, and then run both at Worlds. But she said, no, I'm just doing the 400 weights.
I mean, the reality is 48.9 is the 15th. Make sure, that's the 15th. Her PB is 48.74, but only 15 women in world history have run 48.9 or better. And so many of them obviously were doped up. I mean, you got the world record at 47.6. 47.99. So like how fast, assuming you think she's clean, like how fast do you want her to go? Because a number of these women are dopers, Eastern Europeans, etc. So it's really hard to say what the clean world record would be. Probably 48 something. So, I mean, and it's still 6 weeks. She's very good at peaking. So she's 6 weeks out. She very well could, I think the Bobby Kersey talk of her breaking the 400 world record doesn't make sense. Why would Syndey be breaking a doped world record? And that's the problem with women's athletics. But I do think in 6 weeks, when worlds roll around, she could be in the shape, and no one's going to care. She could be in the best shape a clean woman's ever been in the 400. Does that mean I think she's going to win worlds? I don't know. It's very interesting. I think it's going to be a fun race. I'm glad she's in it. And then in LA, we'll see the double. It's fine to me. Like it just, we got to, people say be more positive. To me, doubling is not a big deal. I would triple guys all the time. So people say it's never been done. The 400 hurdles, which is fine. We can play it up as a big deal. The media can make it a hype deal. It's not that hard to run the 400 hurdles, but if we want to make it a big deal, it'll be cool if she can win gold in both. But do you guys think that she's going to win gold this year?
I don't. I would still bet on Paulino, but I do think she'll run faster than she did today. I think she'll break the American record in Tokyo. What's interesting about that, I don't know, Weldon, if you shared this, but like she really, really wants that American record. And you can just tell her reactions when she looks at the clock, immediately she's just kind of a little frustrated. And she was, she kind of downplayed that in the mix zone, but, we were talking to some people, I think before the mix zone, like she was just kind of like frustrated that she still hasn't gotten this record that she's been gunning for a couple of years now. And she keeps running, she's run 48.7 twice. She ran 48.9 today. And she keeps going for it. It's not like these are good times, obviously. And I do think it will come, but I think it's a frustration that she hasn't gotten it yet.
But it also could be, if you want to be negative, it could just be that, I mean, she's a great athlete, but she could just be like, she's one of the fastest 400 runners ever. And therefore you put her on the 400 hurdles. So she's way better than anyone in history in the 400 hurdles, because not everyone can do the hurdles. It's like if you put a great flat runner in the steeple, same thing. So giving her hurdling ability, she's the greatest ever at the 400 hurdles, but she's not, I mean, she's an all-time great in the flat races, but she's not like the GOAT. So she's just very good, very, very good in the flats. And we're expecting too much in the flat stuff. And by the way, some people are commenting saying there's audio problems. Look, if you're having audio problems, there's two solutions to this. One, join the supporters club, watchrun.com/subscribe. You'll get this podcast in your podcast feed. There'll be no pauses. That will be taken out. And there will be no audio issues because we're recording locally. The other issue is listen on Facebook or X, because no one had any issues on those. I would also say refresh your browser, because a lot of people who listened on YouTube did not have problems. So it's definitely a YouTube problem and whatever. A lot of people are asking, like, why am I at my home office and not the studio office? I couldn't go to the studio today. It's a 30-minute drive. I just wanted to stay here. So I'm glad you guys like the new studio setup. Yeah, people are asking about Grand Slam track. Have you asked anyone else about the payments besides Grant Fisher? Dennis Young of Front Office Sports has written a long article. Like, I know Weldon and John have talked to agents, but the agents told Dennis Young, like, look, we haven't been paid. We got an email from them saying, we hope to pay you soon. But have you guys had anything else since the Young article came out?
Yeah, I mean, I've asked some of the athletes. I asked Nikki Hiltz, have they been paid? Or no, I didn't ask them have they been paid, but I said, how worried are they about the payment situation? They had faith. They know that the Grand Slam's working to get them paid, and is hoping it works out. Similar to Rob Fisher, basically, like, it's not a good thing for anyone in the sport if Grand Slam can't make good. And I think, I think a lot of the athletes kind of realize, like, the reason they're getting paid, it's not because it's like Grand Slam track isn't choosing to stiff them intentionally. It's because they don't have the funds. And so they're just, I think all the athletes are kind of like, look, if they get the funds, we think we'll get paid. That's the comment. That's what I think. The question is, will they get the funds?
And I don't think they will. I mean, what wise investor seeing the crowd today, the non-existent crowd at this meet, would invest? You guys had the supporters club meet up earlier today before the race. By the way, hopefully your coverage is not impacted by too many beers. But I'm curious, like, who was at these meets, these fans that you guys were meeting up with? Like, who's deciding to fly out to Eugene I mean, we had the Olympics last year. So if you wanted to go to Eugene to see Worlds, why would you go back this year? Unless you're a parent. or an
Well,
agent.
kindly, it's just this isn't meant as an derogative. It's like sicko track fans. It is diehard track fans who are flying out for a U.S. championships in a Worlds year, not an Olympic trials, and we love them because that's our audience. But that is who is coming to these meets from out of town. I think is like either you're related to the person or you're like a real true diehard.
Yeah, if you're a random fan, you should try to come for the trials, I think.
Right,
Now,
or even
John-
Prefontaine. You see a lot of the global stars.
Or yeah, if you live in Portland, you want to go to a one-day track meet, you come for Prefontaine. So you need a connection to the athlete, or some people love coming to these. I met a lot of people. They were at Grand Slam track. Some of the people we've been talking to, or they go to the meet in London, or they were at Worlds in Hungary. So these are diehards. Dan Michalski still going. This is ladies and gentlemen. This is record breaking.
John, is he going to get in without the standard?
So he feels pretty good actually, because I was looking at the math and I'm like, I think he needs another time, but he also pointed out he thinks his time from the prelim will replace another one of his marks. So he thought he was going to be good, but he's like, look, we'll look at the situation afterwards, and if I need to go race again, we'll make that happen. And he noted, do you remember he was the pacemaker for James Corrigan when Corrigan got the Olympic standard in Philadelphia last year after the trials? Now Corrigan, they're basically in the reverse situation. And he's like, maybe James can pay back that favor and pace me to try to get the world standard this year. So I think that's pretty cool. That's how actually the connection began with Michalski joined Eyestone's group. Is he helped pace Corrigan for the standard last year, and that's where the connection began. And now he's being coached by us.
I mean, I was surprised that he was just such a dominant second. He's a big guy. It's hot. Everybody else, I don't want to say they laid a goose egg, but I would have expected more people to be kicking for that team.
I thought it was phenomenal.
I'm going to try to go get him.
I mean,
John,
he was like, at one point, I thought, going over the final water barrier, John and I were definitely looking at him and watching him. Like, oh, John's like, he's got to get over smooth. John thought he might fall down. And then you're wondering down the home stretch, is he going to catch Rooks and win it? I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, and he did on the backstretch almost go down. He clipped the hurdle on the last lap. It was a little nerve-wracking. And then the one thing we haven't mentioned was Corrigan, NCAA champ. I mean, last year he was surprised, gets top 3, and then surprisingly got the standard the next week, gets to go to the Olympics. This year he takes care of business NCAAs, but was terrible. He was last. I didn't even notice that. What happened there?
I mean, he was up there. He's around Michalski with 2 laps to go. He just didn't have it the last 2 laps.
Kevin LeBlanc has the odds that he thinks will be the Olympics. He's got Yakov at plus 150. That'd be 40%. Koech at plus 200, 33%. Hocker at plus 250. Other than Koech is plus 300. Kerr plus 400. Koech plus 700. I mean, I think that's probably what it might be, something like that, but it's going to be too high because it adds up way over 100. I mean, you've already got 40%, 33%. Hocker at plus 250 would be, I don't know what kind of odds those would be. Was that 25%? So you're already at 98%, 28% actually. So anyways, it's just, we need Jonathan to get back on here, because from the beginning of the show, people asked Weldon, they would like John to break down the F132 100 meters. I'm not really sure what that means.
Thank you.
Robert, here he is.
Hey, Robert.
Take a seat. We're saying we've never seen someone do this many interviews.
No,
Enjoy it. I'll hold the phone.
We're now joined by Dan M.F. Michalski. I'm going to say your name properly. That's how you say it, right?
Yeah. Michalski.
Michalski. Okay. Because now that you made a team, congratulations, man. It's fun to have someone like this. Guy texted me 2 days ago. I was so excited. I'm like, should I blow his phone up? But I'm like, he's probably being swarmed by phones. I'm like, just get him on the podcast.
Sure. Yeah, this is easy.
I'm out there throwing the ball with my son, and I run inside because I was like, I don't need to see the first half of the steeple. And I come back, NBC's on commercial where they have a split screen.
Yeah, of course.
And it's right when Rooks went to the lead. And I see you, and as a former coach, I just want to see signs of life. You're bigger than most of these guys. I see you going out, and I'm like, all right, Dan's going for it, man. And then I was just like, where's everybody else? I'm like, he looks great. And I'm like, I think he's going to do it. This is amazing. I'm like, just don't fall, don't fall. And then I'm like, anything. Then on the back stretch on the last lap, you almost clipped that one hurdle. And I got a little bit nervous.
I kissed it a little with my heel. Thankfully, was able to maintain my balance afterwards.
And then I'm like, just get through the water jump. And you did fine on the water jump, and the guys behind you had some trouble on it. One of them did. But take me through the race. Like, first, going into the race, I mean, you told me when you texted me earlier in the week, you said, I think I'm in you said either like the best shape or close to the best shape I've ever been in. So it was either now or 2021 when you were fourth of the trials. But were you extremely confident on the start line? What, are you nervous? What are you thinking at the start line?
Yeah, more calm than most times. Something about it. I mean, I knew whether it was slow or fast that it would be fun, and that I could tango with it. I was guessing that Wilkinson and Updike might make it, honest, and if they did, I was ready for it. But since they didn't, and I was able to just slot in behind Corrigan, I was just licking my chops. I was feeling pretty confident about it. The longer it lagged, I was surprised that it went that long before Rooks moved wide, and I could hear Updike and calling out to Wilkinson that the move was happening. He was saying outside, as Kenneth was making his move out, and they were trying to cover it. But I was like kind of ahead of it and just responding eventually. It was neat to let it feel like a rehearsal. I mean, it feels like practice when I get to train with the Olympic silver medalist. I'm used to moves like that. I'm used to following him. I'm used to chasing him. It was, I mean, after I kissed that little barrier with about 300 meters to go, I was just trying to regain my composure and also keep tabs on, all right, well, who's chasing me and how close are they? And they had a kind of a scrum of a few of them. So they ended up fighting each other more than being able to break free and go and get me. So, once I cleared the water for the final time, I was just trying to get eyes up on Kenneth. And even after the last barrier, like, just, okay, lift the knees, be light on my feet, chop the cadence even, don't get long and tight. Just to try to keep spinning, maybe even sneaky cheeky get him, but I couldn't quite pull it off.
Close, man.
And this
That was pretty close.
medalist. I mean,
I train with him all the time. Kenneth is super talented. I know he's human, and in a slow race is a slow race. And, Evan Jager got sixth place at Worlds in 2020, whatever, when it was in Eugene, 2022, 23. When, he wasn't at the top of his game, in a slow race, a lot can happen. Somebody showed me, I think I closed in 2 flat, that's fun. That's what it takes at the U.S. level, and it takes, 157 at the Olympic level to close out a race off of any pace. So, I knew I could do that. I know a lot of those guys can do it. I was talking to Coach yesterday, and Coach Eystone, just about there's going to be some really good guys that are not going to make this team this year, and we're still going to send a good team no matter what.
Why are you it sounds like you're more confident because it was a slow race, but why are you so confident? It's not like your 1500 meter PB is 343. You have broken 4 in the mile, it's 357, but that's not great by these guys' standards, I don't think, is it? So what?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys in our race like Derek Johnson who's run 352 for the mile. I have confidence that in a lap over hurdles that I can hang. So, I mean, the chase is its own thing, man.
Now, somebody's saying, Al from Virginia saying he's looking for a shout out for Lieutenant Colonel Brett Hyde.
Hey, sir.
Pre-WC World program.
You, sir.
Anyways,
I'm curious, Dan, the loss. You haven't had a sponsor since 22. Obviously, being in the WCAP does help a little bit. But why did you ever give any thought after the end of 2022 to move on and try something else, or what kept you going in this sport?
I mean, I had to have a good look in the mirror about who I am as a person and as an athlete, and if I felt like I still had more stones to overturn, if I had upside, if I had my PBs in front of me, and I really did believe that, even though it was a disappointing year. That was the first year of a 20-month pretty painful plantar problem, and yeah, I couldn't train and perform quite how I wanted to, and even that year I actually fell in the final at the U.S. finals, like mid race, and just didn't have the kick that I needed to have, even though I was able to recover from the fall at first pretty well. So yeah, I mean, I believed I still had upside, and I talked to a lot of people consulting for just wisdom and making a decision about how to take care of my family. I had my second kid was on the way at the time, and joining the WCAP, weighing between Army and Air Force was one way that I was able to keep this dream alive. And my wife Abby was, she really believes in me, and was willing to make sacrifices to give it a shot. So yeah, I'm so grateful for my wife Abby. She's I mean, I'm about to cry if I'm talking on it, but yeah, we've been through it.
Robert, do you, maybe one final question we stand, we want to let him to go to team processing, drug testing, that sort of thing.
No, it's just, I mean, it's amazing. What, you'll have three kids now or two? I wasn't sure.
We've got three. Yeah, Daly's 4.5.
It's amazing. I mean,
Joe
and to have a woman that
Macy's almost one.
It's cool. She's like
Sorry.
all in supporting your dream. Congratulations.
Yeah,
just one
thanks.
question about practice. Like, is Rooks way ahead, or is Corrigan way ahead? Like, I mean, it's good to have good training partners, but not just getting your head beat in. Or are you right with them? Like, how does that stack up?
I've been picking up my game. Kenneth was destroying me earlier in the season, and lately I've been hanging pretty good. So.
And what happened to James today?
They both have a little bit better long end than me, but say it again.
What happened to James today? I mean, obviously he was disappointed last place or next to last.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to talk to him yet. I was clipping him pretty good when we were starting to accelerate, and so I was surprised by that. I thought that he would really be able to respond well, because he does have a nice kick. So I don't know. I just haven't talked to him yet. I feel for him though. I mean, it would have been awesome to execute the ice stone sweep like you were shouting out. So we'll see. I'm feeling.
Not gonna lie, Dan. I said the ice stone sweep. I predicted that on Tuesday because I just thought it sounded good, but I kind of expected it to be Rooks, Corrigan, and then somebody else. Normally the dreams don't become reality.
That's normal. That's how it would rank.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it would. I mean, yeah, the same as the Olympic team would have been pretty predictable. That would have been a very safe bet. So I'm glad to upset that. For myself, of course, it comes at somebody's expense. So yeah, that part's tough.
Coach Einstein's trying to get it.
Coach Einstein.
Coach Einstein. Yeah, was there any concern though, like you could join the group and like?
Well then,
train?
I'm gonna let you guys handle it from here. I'm going. Congratulations, man.
Okay. Thanks, Rojo. See ya.
Yeah, was there any concern like, I'm gonna run too hard with these guys, or at the beginning you're not at that level and you're?
Yeah. Thankfully, I was pretty healthy starting out, and just try not to overdo it. I did cook myself pretty well, like my first week in town. Just ran a little too many miles, and have found the balance a little bit better now. And it's neat that we have a 6-day week that we do. Everybody takes Sundays off. And
you live in Utah now, like you've been like the Air Force let you move around?
They do, with discretion. But they supported my move to Utah. It was awesome.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. As Robert said, usually the dreams don't become reality.
Yeah, hey, I love it.
They did today, man. Great
Thanks,
job.
Bud. See you.
All right. I guess it's me solo now. I'll just try to talk for a little bit, recap things, see if John wants to come back real quick. I don't think we can actually stop this thing because we don't have the controls. So someone needs to text Rojo, tell him to stop. All right, Jonathan Galt's here. John, first of all, Rojo's gone. I don't know if we have any way to stop this. podcast. Let's go.
And we just hang up and then, figure out a way. By the way, Corrigan, by the way, Robert was wondering what happened. I talked to him and he just said, yeah, he's a kicker. And he wound up leading, and that was not his plan, but he was up front. And then he was just like, yeah, it's not really my style. And his kick, when they started moving by him, he just didn't have it. And he thought that leading probably didn't help with that. So he was just, I think going in, he felt pretty good about where he was at, but it was not his style of race. And, the thing is, when you find yourself in the lead in the steeple, it is nice having that cleanup run up to the barriers. Like, it's maybe a little harder to just give it up and move to the side. You want someone to go by you. But that was his explanation, at least. He also acknowledged, that wasn't a good race for him at all. Like, he didn't just miss the team. He wasn't even close. So, I don't know if there was anything more to it, but he thought the style didn't play into his strengths.
He really didn't have anything the last 2 laps. And I think that's the motto for today. Don't lead. Or look, there's no bonus points for leading a race. I think in the steeple there are good reasons. The 800, same thing, but we're even talking about for Josh Hoey tomorrow. Is it a concern? Is he going to service the Hobbs Kessler rabbit?
But you've got to think about what's your best way of making a team. Like, Yared Nuguse last year, what were we begging him to do going into trials? Lead the race, because we thought he was a lot stronger than pretty much everyone in the country. So that's his safest way of getting on the team. And I thought, again, in 2025, that was probably his best bet. Like, don't leave it down to a kick. If you can separate and gap these guys, do it. And he was almost as good as he was last year. It's just, it turns out that gap we thought existed wasn't there today. So, looking back, I think you do have to wonder, if you're going to draw up an ideal race plan, maybe those splits wouldn't be the way to do it. But again, he ran those exact same splits in the Olympic trials final last year, and he got second, and then he ended up getting the bronze medal at the Olympics. So I don't know if we can criticize him too much for it.
Yeah, Robert was saying when he saw the 58, he knew it was over, but will you keep pushing 56 the whole way? I mean,
then you're going to run 328, and or 56 and then kick. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a brutal team to make. That. The reality is, you have to be one of the very best guys in the world to make the U.S. team in the 1500 meters, and you have very little margin for error.
So we can't change the comments. Sorry, guys. Unless we go try to grab a computer here. But earlier, John, they were asking, who's the favorite for Worlds in the 15?
Who's the favorite? That's a great question. I mean, I've been every time I'm asked myself who would I bet on, I've been saying Hawker, and I guess the way he's playing it off, he's okay, this is a prelim for Worlds, and I'll be ready when it counts, but it's putting a lot of faith in him. I don't think you can call him the favorite. I think it would be Kerr or Koech, Fanuel Koech, or Laros. I think those are the three guys. And then, Jonah Koech is, I don't even know if you would call him a dark horse anymore if you win the U.S. trials, but I think
funny because
it's probably Koech, Fanuel Koech, Kerr, or Laros, one of those three.
And that changed today because Hawker lost?
It changed because, Cole Hawker got third in the U.S. championships. And I mean, I don't know if I want to say he almost missed the team, but he slid back and in the home straight was in danger of missing. So yes, that I think that does affect. This is a guy who's talked all year about I'll be ready when it matters. I'll be ready when it counts. And yes, he did make the team, but I didn't see I was going to say I didn't see the same Cole Hawker. He actually ran faster today than he did in the Olympic trials final last year. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because I heard him afterwards. He seemed so calm, and he's that was the easiest race of my year. I mean, he was just, maybe there's a little bravado or bluffing there, but I didn't sense it. I said beforehand he's the favorite. I'm sort of sticking to it, but then that opens up the question,
A guy who's
it's Ethan Strand,
well,
a gold medal contender?
Well,
I think they're all three medal contenders.
I think he's a contender. But you look, can we call Cole Hawker is 0-8 in 1500/mile races since the Olympics. I just can't call that guy the favorite. It doesn't mean he can't win, but I can't call him the favorite.
Yeah, I understand that sentiment. I don't think he'd be the betting favorite, but
But I think there might be some juicy odds there. If people look at his form
Yeah, I think
and say,
I
like,
still
oh, he hasn't
like
been running
everything
that
I'm
well.
seeing from him, and then his explanation afterwards. Maybe it's BS, but when he said that, and then I thought about his race, I'm like, yeah, he did get boxed pretty good. He got out of it. Maybe the old Cole Hawker can win that.
Here's the thing we know. We know Hawker has an even higher level than what he showed today because we saw it in Paris. We don't know that about Koech or Strand. I think they might because of how good they looked on the last lap. But, you know, and I don't know if it's going to be a 3:27 race again in Tokyo, but I've seen Cole Hawker do it in the biggest possible race, in the fastest possible race. And, you know, that's just something, it's nice to have that in your back pocket, that knowledge that, hey, I can get to that level.
Yeah. I'm probably putting too much stock in his win last year, but I saw him.
Well,
And he
if
didn't
you're
win
gonna put-
today, and he won the trial. He won last year, so maybe it's unfair that I'm not penalizing for what happened today.
Yeah, I'm penalizing him a little bit.
I need to rewatch the end of the race. And I mean, Jonah Koech, maybe I should put him higher, to be honest. No races in 2 months. Like, this is like Fennell Koech. I mean, it's crazy. Like,
The year of Koech.
Koech, these guys, I mean, literally, we'd never heard of them. I mean,
Well, I've heard of Jonah.
right, we'd heard of him, but like no one on the international scene had heard of either one of these guys. And they're both very strong contenders for a medal or gold.
Well, look, these guys didn't run the 1500. Fannel Koech had never run the 1500 before this year, and Jonah Koech had run it, but like not seriously. His PB was 3:37. Like you said, January 1st, 2025, those two guys would be contenders for the world title in the 1500 meters. And like, what the hell? How the hell did this happen? But it's happened.
All right, if you like this, you're listening now, and you don't want to have to rewind on YouTube or tomorrow. You need to join the supporters club. You'll get this as a podcast in your feed. Better audio. You get an extra podcast every week. It's the ultimate level of track and field fan. Go to letsrun.com/subscribe to join today. Give out the code. I'll give out the code GOAT50, GOAT50 to save 50% off your first year. You get super soft t-shirts, savings running shoes. It's amazing. You'll get our podcast from tomorrow as well. Final day of USA's. Let's see the highlights tomorrow. One, we got Cole Hawker coming back in the 5,000. It's going to be hot. Check the weather, John. It's hot today in Eugene, 5,000. Oh, man, yours truly would have been just complete awful, despite growing up.
70s and sunny, mid 70s.
This is only 70 right now, today?
No, today it's warmer, but tomorrow it'll be a little cooler.
So, I guess oh, my God, the 800s. It's going to be a great day of track and field.
200, Sha'Carri Richardson, as last we heard, she's actually planning on running. That's our understanding. We'll see if that changes, but that'll be interesting to see. Noah Lyles will be running, so that's going to be fun. Lyles versus Knighton in the 200 meters, and Kenny B. Can Kenny B take down Noah Lyles and complete the double? Melissa Jefferson Wooden against Gabby Thomas in the 200. That's going to be a big time matchup. And yeah, like we said, both 800s. I mean, the women's totally wide open, and then the men's is stacked. And then the 5,000s. Fisher, Young, Legs, Wolf, Hawker. There's someone I've missed out there. Sam Gilman.
Dark horse Sam Gilman. Sorry, guys. Apologies for the check-in music. Can't mute it because there's no Robert to throw it back to. All right, if you're in Eugene, try to find us. You can get your beer. We pulled a fast one on you guys. We promoted the meetup only this morning. You had to see the pop-up. Come to Let's Run with like 3 hours notice.
Well, I imagine we'll be at the Wild Duck either tonight or tomorrow, and if you're there.
It's early, John. Today
Yeah.
expect more write-ups because it's 4:30 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of, I think we should close. That's going to do it for day 3 of USA's. What a day it was. Really fun. The men's 1500 meters remains undefeated as the greatest event in track and field. And lots more great stuff to come tomorrow. So if you're watching live, again, letsrun.com/subscribe. If you want these, we do them for every major championships. They're always a lot of fun. You can get them as a podcast, not just having to tune in live.
And yeah, you join the supporters club like Dan Mahalski. Your dreams could become reality. He just used to be some guy like chatting in our comments. We're like, who's this guy? Oh, he's a steeplechaser. And here we go, John. Then he wore the Let's Run singled at the Houston Half Marathon.
Yeah, 2025 World's team member, assuming he's got the world ranking, wearing the Let's Run singlet.
I mean, how many national level people have run a Let's Run single, John, in the last 10 years?
The last 10 years? Well, there was
Americans. He wasn't American, the other guy.
yeah, Dan Mahalski and then Ben DeHaan, not American, but did push Galen Rupp in that Portland race.
We're 1 for 1 in national teams. Well, top 3.
Yeah.
TBD.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.